Hey, I had Sinette on the show. Sinette, tell them a little bit about what you got going on as far as your dating. I mean,
we got Chanel, so we have Elam too. So I wanted, because Elam's gonna balance all of this out, because he's a coach and a relationship coach and dating coach, but he's also crazy like you.
I grew up in the hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all boys in my house. 4 boys grew up together. My mom had to become hard because she's like, yo, I'm around all boys, right? And a husband, right? So I got the whoopings. I got the don't cry and don't act like a girl and don't show her your emotion, right?
Right.
And so, you know, the only thing that was important to me that was taught to me literally was getting money legally, right? And getting women. That was the depiction of men.
That's it. Right, hold on. You know what? It's funny you say that. One of the things I've always often said, and he just heard it from the horse's mouth, I say the 2 things that define men are the money and the woman on their arm. Wow. That's what. Other than that, we get along with each other. But when it comes between them 2, boy, we at war.
Here's the thing. I try to tell women, dickmatize is a real thing.
Dickmatize?
Huh?
You say dickmatize?
Yes.
Dickmatize.
It is
a real thing.
It is.
Dickmatized.
I'm sorry?
I don't think I've ever been dickmatized.
We're gonna give you.
Wait, hold on. Let me put my notes. Hold on. Let me look at these notes again. According to these notes that you said earlier.
When you said something about being dickmatized, you knew exactly what that was. You been dickmatized before?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I knew exactly what he meant.
Hey, so what does dickmatize? Yeah, you just came back here on dickmatized section. So the dickmatized. Hey, what does the dickmatize make you do? What did it make you do and you realize it? How did you wake up on the dickmatization?
It made my ass in denial. I know that much.
Y'all gonna think I'm lying, and this might be the dude in me. I have never, and I've had some good ass. Never been dickmatized.
Never been.
You ain't had no good ass dick.
Yes, I have. Listen, I know what good dick feel like. Let me tell you something.
What's the reason why that a woman has an orgasm?
You tell me. I'm gonna tell you.
Because of the man, right?
Huh?
A woman
has an orgasm, right? Well, no, not because of the man.
A woman has an orgasm because a man has touched a particular spot in her vaginal wall. And made her want to have it.
But still, technically, it belongs to the man, right? I don't know.
Wait, I'm gonna wait. My hand is up.
I'm gonna go back. Wait, let Marq just said it. What's the purpose? We know how it got there. What's the purpose of an orgasm?
I don't know. What is? So I can have
connection.
fun?
I know why.
No, the reason for orgasm, obviously you got the man ejaculates, right, to get the sperm in you, right? The reason for an orgasm is because, ladies, y'all know you got 2 ovaries, right? You release 1 egg every single month, right? You don't know, those of you who are on a cycle right now, this month or last month when you released that egg, which one did it come from, the left ovary or the right ovary? You don't know. Great, but guess what? Your body does know. So when you have an orgasm, what that does is it squeezes the sperm in the direction of which egg got released. Remember, the goal to have sex is to procreate. We happen to enjoy it. So that means that your body is saying that if that man brings you to orgasm, you have a higher probability of siring his children, which means your brain then says, connect with this person. This is whether you want to have children or not. This is biological. You can't argue this. Google it.
I can't agree with you on that.
Okay.
Look,
it doesn't matter whether you agree. I just said something that's biological, so you don't have to agree with me. You can. This is Google. I didn't come up with this. I didn't come up with this. It's biological.
And I can't have.
But you know what? Respectfully, what this says is that, think about it. I started off by asking a question of what's the reason for orgasm. Nobody knew, but then when I share what it is, you're saying it isn't.
No, what I'm saying,
that doesn't even compute.
What I'm saying is,
Marie, do you know of any women that's been dickmatized?
Yes, absolutely, I do.
Right. What about you, Sinette? You know of any? So we can believe that dickmatized exists, correct?
I do. I believe in dickmatized.
Okay, so thank you. I think at least we acknowledge if you haven't been, at least we can go back to Mr. King's original point.
We never
hold on,
said
you guys,
that.
hold on, time out. You guys, hold on, you guys argued that point like he was wrong, like it didn't exist.
No, we didn't say it was wrong. We just said it doesn't happen to everybody, but it don't matter. I just want this video to come out so I can hear all.
It don't happen for every woman.
Well, you want somebody to back you the way y'all was backing each other earlier. Like,
no. What I'm saying is, dickmatized do exist.
I just can't wait to hear the commentary because that's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you something. The information I shared, that's honors class. When this hits, I'm gonna say it just like this. When this hits the airwaves, we're going. You got honors and college prep in general. You're gonna hit general. People who have no idea, they're not even gonna be able to absorb this information.
Excuse you, I am honored. Do you need to see that degree?
I didn't say you. I said when it hits other people, they're not even gonna be able to. They're going I want them to Go ahead.
I just want to see
what I say.
Yeah, I just want to see the reaction. Help me understand why you say thick girls like leopard prints. Like, please help me with this one.
Man, because it brings out the savagery, man. For some reason, they want savagery. Unfortunately,
really?
I'm gonna say this. Unfortunately, you've never been with a big girl, so you don't understand what I'm talking about.
So I can say I've never.
It's like jumping. Look, it's like jumping in the Superman booth when they come out. They go in with clothes on and come out with a leopard print. It's
but
over.
I'm a big girl. Like I don't like leopard prints and stuff like that.
Pete Marie. You know what? We're not even. You're not a big girl, T-Ray. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. Hey, I had Shanette on the show. Shanette, tell them a little bit about what you got going on as far as your dating. I mean, like, she has a very positive outlook, and I actually call her the den mother because she keeps it real when it comes to the responsibility of a woman. So she's I can't say she's definitely one who's trying to definitely find a mate, and I think that she's on the right path, but it's something kind of like connected. Kind of tell them what you got going on.
At all. I don't know what the hell. At all.
So what's going on? Tell us what you got going on as far as your dating life right now.
Nothing.
Okay, great.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Just nothing.
Going to work.
So Marq, we got Chanel, so we have Elam too. So I wanted, because Elam's gonna balance all of this out, because he's a coach and a relationship coach and dating coach, but he's also crazy like you. Like, y'all don't have filters.
Oh Lord, y'all gonna have me on here crying and shit.
They have no filters. Yeah,
demons and shit.
Jeanette, there's no filters here. So so be strong here, okay? And just be strong.
I'm strong.
Yeah, be strong. So we gonna do this.
I don't think she dates. I don't think she dates enough. Do you? When last time you been on a date?
I want to say June.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I mean, like, how? Okay, so one of the things, in order for you to even, the things that you want in life, you have to pursue it, right? But where are you as far as, right? So where are you? I mean, what is it? What's the thing you think that's causing you not to get over that first hump? And what is that first hump? Have you just tried to discover what that may be, or?
I think my first hump is, cause y'all gonna make me cry. So I think my first hump is, like you said, I got to try, but I'm gonna be very transparent. For somebody suffering from depression, I just give up.
Either, what you think?
I mean, that's deep. If she's gonna say she's gonna give up, I mean, it's I guess the first question that most of us would want to ask is why, you know? And I know that that's probably layered, so not trying to really get.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm like. Y'all gonna have me on here, like, oh Lord. Yeah. I tend to give up quickly. Like, one thing about me, like I was stating earlier, about accountability. Sometimes as women, we have to kind of hold ourselves accountable as to why we keep picking the same men. Why is the pattern still going on the way that it's going on? And sometimes it can be deep-rooted issues. And I think sometimes my issue is when I do express my vulnerability, I think I do it too soon. And sometimes I feel like men take advantage of that. But one thing about me, I'm not a bad person. I'm not, you know, I think my issue is I don't set boundaries enough. I think that's really what it boils down to, that I have to set boundaries for myself and have some sort of self-respect. And I'm not saying that as, you know, I'm going off doing anything with anybody, but it still lies with having some sort of boundary about what you want and what I put up with and what I won't put up with. And I think in my past relationships, I won't set boundaries, or I'll be like, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a chance. And, you know, I know people make mistakes, or, you know, well, maybe we can work this out. But if you walk like a duck, talk like a duck, and if you're showing your true colors, I have to realize that right then and there and nip it in the bud instead of prolonging it, knowing that I see it and being in denial about it.
So I heard you say something about out of bounds. I mean, setting boundaries, I'm sorry. So my question is, what's out of bounds? What is that? Like, what's out of bounds? So you said you don't set boundaries, or you need to learn how to set boundaries. What's outside of those boundaries that you need to put boundaries on?
I guess what I would put up with and what I won't put up with. Prime example, like I had an ex, he wanted to keep relationship private. He always kept his relationships, as he said, private. But the thing about it is, or I'll be like, come on, let's go out. He wouldn't want to go out, but he'll go out with his homeboys. My thing is, that's okay. All I'm asking for is some time too. I know you have a life besides me, you know, and I understand that. But if I'm asking just for some quality time, I'm not asking you to take me around the world or anything. I'm just asking to spend quality time with you. I couldn't get that. So I think that's one of the things that I just kind of like bypassed, or I would constantly go out, but he would never want to go out with me. And sometimes it was to the point that it got embarrassing because I'm literally defending you. And it's like, why am I defending you if you're not even here by my side? Like, I kind of felt like I was feeling like I needed a dunce cap on my head. Like, what's really going on? So some of those things, you know, I feel like I prolonged the relationship too long. And I was just like, you know, I really feel like I need to kind of know myself a little bit more and have a little bit more self-respect with myself for what I would tolerate and what I wouldn't tolerate.
Would that really be that you need to know yourself more, or would it be really that you needed to enforce what you knew was something that you needed?
Yeah, more so of that, to enforce.
So let me ask you a question. How long were you guys dating? I'm sorry, I had to switch cameras, so I had to come on to
Let's say a little over a year.
Over a year, okay. So when you came into the relationship, did you know that quality time was something that was important to you?
To be honest, no.
Okay. All right. So how far into the relationship did you find out that it was important to you?
I want to say about 8-9 months.
Were you having sex with him by then?
Yes. I ain't even gonna lie. Yes, I was.
So
did y'all saying keep it 100?
I'm not gonna lie. I knew that answer.
Right.
What happened?
I'll be back.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be the answer, and this is one of the reasons why that I like to share with women why it's important to make sure that you have the establishment of who you're with prior to having sex, because once you start having orgasms, your brain is going to trick you into utilizing your imagination a lot more versus you looking at what the reality is. I mean, we have to understand how important our imagination is. To whereas, I mean, we've all been asleep at night, right? Okay, so my man, Mr. Weaver, right? Hey, we've all been teenagers. We were laying in the bed, but sometimes we woke up a little different, right? Why is that? Because our imagination is just that powerful to whereas it gave us a dream that made us ejaculate, but we were really sitting in the bed the entire time.
What I'm coming in on? What I'm coming in on? Wait a minute, ejaculation.
The reason why that I'm saying that is because we have to understand that our imaginations were put there so that we can see ourselves on the canvas of where God wants us to go before we get there, so we can utilize faith to actually get there. But sometimes it can negatively affect us, and we start imagining that the person is going to be a certain type of person. So therefore, we're going to continue to guide ourselves down the road of past month 8, 9, 10. You now know on month 8, hey, this ain't looking right. But you're now utilizing your imagination, and then here comes the nurturing factor from you also as a woman that's coming in and saying, maybe I can carry him through that, and if he would just, or if he could just, or this and that. So your imagination is actually working negatively against it. So I would just say it doesn't make you a bad person that you were in that space. It's just something that, you know, just you in the future, and don't hold that future person accountable to the lack that you had of your value of knowing that, hey, looking at what I'm looking at right now is not really where I want to go, and cutting them loose before we hit that year plus or whatever case to be where we're just with the person. So I don't want to go on a rant on that, but I would just say that,
but
you know,
I understand what you're saying.
Can exist inside of that, you know.
Yeah,
I don't want to hit me on a Friday night. I was gonna go there immediately.
Yeah,
so,
this,
you know.
okay. But even though, and believing that you deserve something, first of all, you know, when you understand what you deserve, then you won't spend as much time wasting time. Girl, don't start all that crying now. Shit, get the drink and grab your glass, and we can come in for the Marq.
You have to understand. It actually says in Ecclesiastes 3, right? It talks about there being a space to whereas, you know what, you might not know the direction of where God wants you to go, but just know that whatever you're dealing with, it's for a reason, right? So, and all things work to the good as long as you're rocking and rolling inside of your purpose and loving God and move, then everything's going to work towards the good. So even old boy and whatever he did that might have negatively impacted you, it was for a reason. It was a building.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm 46 years old. I don't know how old everybody else is on here, but everybody got a story.
I'm 40. I'm 45.
I'm an old head. I'm 49.
I'll be 50. I'll be story of how they was just like, man, if I didn't look, I'm coming off. You talking to somebody who's coming off a 19-year marriage,
right?
And then I filed for divorce. Only 14 men filed. Right?
How long you married, bro?
19 years.
I mean, I'm sorry. How long you been divorced?
I've been officially divorced since July of last year, but I moved out 3 years ago. Like about 2 months before, about 2 months after COVID hit. You know what I'm saying? So I asked you that because I think we share the similarities in that I was actually divorced April of 2020, right before the pandemic. I was married for 7.5 years. And that's what I was going to ask you. I say, so I'm going to ask you this. So as far as what you saw, as far as like, are you actively dating now, or are you like kind of, you know, where you at right now in the process of like kind of starting over when it comes to this? Actively dating, yes, I am. And people always ask me, they're like, yo, do you want to get married? Yep, sure do. I want the maximum level. I know that I will only be an 8 in this life by myself. I know that only a woman can take me to 9 and 10. That I know. I'm gonna be the dopest 8 by myself, but I'm trying to live a 10 life. So I'm not gonna let you hurt, because there's reasons why that my marriage ended, and I'm not putting that all on her, because I got married at 25. Into a blended family from 0 to 3, right? 25 years old. Do the math of how that is, coming straight off of Playboy Street. You know what I'm saying? Into one person and all that. Yeah. And I wasn't in purpose. I was getting money in the spirit of what people would feel, but I wasn't happy. Now the wife is happy, the kids is happy, everybody got their own bathrooms and bedrooms and everything, and they all happy. And I'm mad every day because I'm missing something. My emotional intelligence, if I put a 0 to 10, my emotional intelligence was probably a 2. Now, you couldn't have told me that at that time. Right? I thought I knew what I was doing, but that's when sometimes when we feel some type of way, right? The reason why that is a lot of times is because we don't understand our own feelings. I grew up in the hardcore, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was all boys in my house, 4 boys grew up together. My mom had to become hard because she's like, yo, I'm around all boys, right? And a husband, right? So I got the whoopings, I got the don't cry and don't act like a girl and don't show her your emotion, right? And so, the only thing that was important to me that was taught to me literally was getting money legally, right? And getting women. That was the depiction of men.
That's it. Right, hold on. You know what? It's funny you said that. One of the things I've always often said, and he just heard it from the horse's mouth, I say the 2 things that define men are the money and the woman on their arm. Wow. That's what. Other than that, we get along with each other. But when it comes between them 2, boy, we at war.
That was it.
We at war.
And so, Shanette, I'm saying to you, is Shanette?
That's correct.
Jeanette. So I'm saying to you that I got a story of straight stupidity and ignorance, right? You know what I'm saying? And bad decision making. I try to take
the heat off you a little bit. That's why I kind of shifted a little bit to get yourself back together.
No, also I want her to know, but here's the thing. At the same time, I mean, my first book that I have here, that the reason why that I wrote that one is because I was just like, men don't really talk.
Pull it out. Pull it out in front of us, bro. Pull it out in front of us. Let me see the name of it.
Yeah, it's called Understanding a Man, Empowering Women with Tools for Lasting Relationships. So I interviewed 24 men about various topics because I knew that men didn't talk. And I'm like, I have daughters now, and I'm like, I tell her the real, and she's in the beginning was like, Dad, everybody's not like that, when she was like 8, 9, or 10. And when she got 16, 17, she's like, yo. And I'm like, yo. And she's like, yo, that's real. And I'm like, yeah, everything I told you is real. So I took that and I was just like, well, there's a lot of other daughters out here that don't know. So I interviewed 24 men to tell the real. If they had a daughter, what would they want her to know in order to really help her sustain herself with the real, not the fluff, not dad. Because you got a daughter, Marq?
Yes.
Okay, so we give it to them, but most of us don't give it to them like real. We kind of float around stuff, especially baby boomers. They floated all around and said, trust God and go love, right? So here we come with something a little bit different. And so I was just like, you know what? Let me talk to some of the other daughters that are out there and just give it to them real. So that was really my walk, Shanette, into this space. I was marketing undergrad. You know what I'm saying? I've been in sales my whole life. I don't like writing a book. Like, I ain't even like English. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why am I going to do something like that? But at the same time, I ended up being lucky enough to understand my purpose and my relationship with God fused me to saying, okay, you know what? Turn your pain into purpose. And so that's really what it is. The only thing I'm out here doing, I'm not speaking from a place of pain. I'm speaking from a place of, I don't ever want anybody else to go through what I went through. So let me shed myself. And in the process of doing that, I know I'm going to bless at least 1 or 2 people.
Right. And look, also, okay, look, speaking of your book, let me ask you a question. So Shanette is your sister, all right? She's your sister. And there's one thing in that book that you can share what men would say to help her, what would that one thing be? Just give me one thing out of that book you would say.
Chapter 4 is "Do You See Me?" I think it's chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 3.
It's a chapter.
It's a chapter.
And I don't know my own book, I promise you. And so in that chapter, I only interviewed the single men for that chapter, and it was about 7 of them, because I wanted them to speak to the women who are out here dating. And I wanted them to know, okay, so what should women know regarding dating, right? And so it's 4 steps that I asked women to walk through, particularly inside of dating. But so what I was saying is that in that particular chapter, I interviewed, it was 7 or 8 guys I interviewed in that chapter. All of them were single, because I didn't want to hear from the married guys in this chapter. Do you see me? I wanted to speak to the single men. And I was just like, okay, so what should women know? And, step 1 is knowing yourself, right? Understanding your purpose, your non-negotiables, right? Your love language, right? Your value. Who are you and what do you have to have, right? So if you think about your situation right there with Shanette that you were just saying earlier, if you walk into dating, right, and you know what you can and what you will not put up with, you can see that thing immediately, right? And so, now you can date for entertainment all before that, but don't commit to anybody until you at least understand who you are and what you need, non-negotiables. You know what I'm saying? Love language. If you took the quiz, sounds like you're a quality time person. That ain't going nowhere for the next 10 to 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Will it change? Yeah, but it might never change? Yeah, but at least you know this is what I gotta have. So if this person can't offer this, I always like to say, one of my frat brothers, he's a emergency room doctor, right? And so he worked from 7 at night to 9 o'clock in the morning, 2 weeks every month. So 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, 1 week off. So guess who's probably not gonna go to Lil Billy's recital in the evening?
Right.
He's not gonna be there. Right now, is the house and the car and all that dope? Yeah, but if it's on an on week, he's not gonna be there. Right? He's saving lives. Right? So, he's a doctor. He's a doctor you can't be with because you need quality time, and he can't offer that to you. Right? So that's step 1 of just knowing who you are. Step 2 is, you start dating somebody and you're thinking about, let me see if I can turn a corner with this person. Before you do that, insert yourself into their world and pay attention to what you see. Right? Naturally. How are they naturally acting? If they're busy, let them be busy. Don't try to gun them down. Right? You let them know this is what you need, but then you wait and see, can they give that to you? Right? You insert yourself. I'm not saying go to all the family cookouts, right? But pay attention to their world. What do they do? What are they doing? Naturally on a daily basis. When y'all argue, is he cussing you out? You know what I'm saying? Is there a level of aggression that you need to be paying? I mean, what is his, extracurricular activities? Can you deal with that? Right? Dude want to smoke? Do you like smoke? No. So if he likes cigars and you don't like cigars,
I love cigars though. Okay, I'm sorry. I get it.
Like, there's some women who can't stand it. You see what I'm saying? So step 2 is you insert yourself into their world and just look around. Pay attention to what
I think that was part of my issue too, that I was telling Marq, that I was settling. One thing about me, like you said, I like cigars, but the person that I'm with may not like it. I like to work out, but the person that's with me doesn't. So it's like you trying to force yourself on this person. You're trying to mold it into something that you know it's not, because again of the quality time or your love language or your fears of being alone, things of that nature. And I have talked about that before, and I had told Marq, I can't do that anymore either. That's one of the main things I realized. Shanette, you need to stop trying to settle, and you always worrying about them, but what about your needs? What about you? Your time is precious just as much as theirs. You are much as precious as they are. You are just as valuable as they are. And my thing is, I think I'm a caterer, but I think I do it too much and do it before I know the person and before that person deserves my respect.
Jeanette.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry.
I mean, yes.
No, you're good. What relationships have you seen prior to getting into relationships? What did that look like to you? Like, what was your examples of relationships?
So my parents, they've been together over 50 years. But I think what the issue was with them, they always did things in private. Like if they argued in private. You know, my mother was 1 out of 19. My dad, yes. My mom was 1 out of 19. My dad was 1 out of 13. And I think, you know, my dad used to be over emotional. And I think that's the type of men I started attracting. You know, I love my father with all my heart, but I think I've watched my mother, you know, carry my father, you know, because it was always through thick and thin with them. You know, it was just no matter how they argued, whatever, you know, they always worked it out somehow. But I must say, you know, I love my father again with all my heart, but he was a broken man. But my mother stayed, you know. And
well, that was the baby boomer era. That's how they rocked. Unfortunately, they were some loyal, hardworking, God-fearing people. But when it came to relationships, even though that they were together, people just like, you know, my parents got married when they were 16 and they stayed together. Your mama wanted to get out the house of them 19 people. That's why she married him. You know what I'm saying? So she can get away from the rest of them people. My dad is 1 of 13. They were baby boomers. They was booming with babies. So people wanted to get away from that lifestyle of doing the outhouse and all this and that. My parents are 51 years. So I get that. You know what I'm saying? Still together today.
Yeah, so my parents are 48 years. So what we saw was we didn't see the things that they had to sacrifice to stay together, especially as women, right? As women. We didn't see the tolerance, the things they had to give up, the things that they couldn't be, the things that they couldn't do, that they wanted to do, but they were only taught that they had to survive in that predicament, and they couldn't have their own love and their own lives. They only had to do that. And if I had to be honest, as I've talked to my mother in this day, we've had those conversations. You know what I'm saying?
I think that a lot of times, T, I'm gonna push back on you just for 1 second, not taking away from anything that you just said, that the struggles that women had to go through, but I think that sometimes, unfortunately, it's communicated as if like the man had an easy life and the woman had the hard life because she was home with the kids.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Men had other struggles that they were dealing with. Let's just be real. Most of our grandparents did not walk in their purpose, right? So if granddad, great-granddad wasn't walking in their purpose, guess what? When he came home, he was frustrated. Right? He felt a void, right? And although he might fill that void by going and laying up with mama, I can tell you right after you bust, like it comes, the problem comes right back of what you're dealing with, that you're really not there. So yeah, he might have looked like that he was out bringing home the bacon and she was home with the kids, but trust me, that man was going through turmoil because he did not even know how to deal with the emotions, the same emotions that Elam King dealt with 25 years, when I was 25, before it was 21 years ago, right? The same thing that my grandfather or my father that dealt with back in the 50s, or my great-grandfather, dealt with, you know, maybe in the 30s. So both sides struggle. Right? And guess what? Men still struggle to this day with their manhood. Okay? Because see, they were taught what manhood should have looked like, being strong, bringing home the bacon or whatever. You just heard what me and Marq just said. We were taught the same things. Like, your value is built inside of what you do with your hands and what you do with your penis. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? It's not real, right? And so we felt the void. 40, 50, 60 years later, way after y'all are more liberated, we're still dealing with today the fact that, hey, we don't even know. We had to revamp and have a better understanding of what you do with your hands does make sense, and it makes sense, but that's not it, right? Particularly if it's not in the divine order of where God really wants you to go. So I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of saying, I'm accepting what you're saying, but I'm saying that sometimes it might be delivered as if men were in a hard struggle back then too. Does that make sense?
I'm just talking to her as women. I can't speak on men, but I can speak on.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel. I can't speak on a man's perspective because I'm not a man.
As women, why women stay. Marq, maybe y'all can speak on that part. But for me, having a conversation with my mom and understanding that when people be like, well, they stayed together 45 years, but there was so many sacrifices that women had to make to stay for 45 years. Now, I'm not saying that the man didn't have to.
They actually had to lose. They actually had, which the sad part about it, they had to lose a part of themselves, right? And I say a part of itself, the part where their intuition and discernment couldn't be used in that household, which made it even weaker. It could have been stronger if they would have been able to use it then. They weren't able to do it. They had to submerge it into their own thoughts and ideas.
There's no relationship. We got all these curriculums for a whole lot of things, but we all know that the real life skills, there's no curriculum, right? There was no financial teaching, right? Eat right. Yeah, okay, what does that look like, right? You know what I'm saying? Relationships. Like, your relationship can knock down every single thing that you got going on. Because psychologically, you can go into a breakdown and you could be the dopest brain surgeon, but let your spouse not show up correctly. You ain't trying to operate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to operate in no capacity on the table nor in life, right? Mm-hmm. So we didn't get the education here, and I think that that's what's so important. That's why me and T, that's why I love what she does, because she's out here, sharing information with individuals, and she's changing just one person at a time. Right. Mm-hmm. My only problem was when you have people who are not anointed in this space, just coming from a place of hurt, and they just slinging ideas all over the place, like do this and do this with men and do that with men and do this with women. I'm like, is that really what your calling is?
So that's another reason why I told Marq I try to space it out, because I don't want to become that person that I blame it on the next person, because it's not their fault. Mm-hmm. It's not their issue. It's not their problem, so I don't want to be like, all men ain't shit, because that's not true, Right. And again, that goes back to what I was saying about the accountability thing. As far as you telling yourself, it's also something that you doing. It can't just be all of these men that are all the same. Why are you picking these same type of men? My grandmother always said, energy and frequency connect. So what is it in you that's connecting to these men? And why are you connecting to these men?
Right.
So I had to sit there and tell myself that. I can't sit there and be like, all men ain't shit, all men ain't nothing, all men ain't this, all men ain't that, and still not hold myself accountable as to why I keep picking these same type of men.
Right. But also I want to say something. I want to just go back even to step one. And it's just something hit me, and we can continue this conversation. But one of the things I know, one thing about me, my instincts is very, very pretty much on point. One of the things I've noticed, just based on your energy, one thing I've noticed that I think that can probably be something you can put in your tool belt would be you have to, it seems like, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like when you meet a guy, you probably give them more than what you should in the beginning. Like, it's almost like I get a sense of feeling that you are very timid, right? I can feel you timid. I can also say that you may need to have that thing where you are the prize more, right? I don't think you reflect that, right? I think you reflect the reverse. Like, I need you rather than you need me. Mm-hmm. Right. And this is just something that just came out the top of my head. I might be wrong, but I think that even when you run across men, right? When you run across men, we can get a sense of what at that point, what we're going to do. Right.
Yeah.
If you play your cards the wrong way, you're gonna, when I may play the cards the wrong way, just, you know, get that confidence in that, you know, I am the shit, right? Rather than you the shit, right? You definitely have to reflect that, and I can definitely tell you that probably your confidence probably needs to be a little bit more built up a little bit more. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Listen, go ahead, Ethan.
No, go ahead, T. I don't want to be ball hog. Go ahead, T.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, T.
Go ahead, Ethan. I'll come behind you.
I was gonna say this, and I think T, you did comment on my post that I put up yesterday. I'm gonna explain that really quickly based upon what he just said, right? So, Shanette, you said, because I take notes, right? You said keep being with the same person, you know, like people just keep being with the same person. And then Marq was just like that you are the prize, right? And that goes back to what I said is step one, right? Recognizing who you are, why God has you here. Let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody says about Elam King right now. I'm here to be a relationship coach. I don't give a damn about what happened in my past. You know what I'm saying? My life could have been, my 46 years could have been 45 years of bad chapters. Guess what? In my 46th year, I figured out who the hell I am. You cannot take that away from me because you didn't build it. God built that, right? So that value is there, right? And then I begin to continue to operate in that space and let God continue to show me what my talent is. So I am a prize, right? But guess what? So are you. So when you got two prizes coming to the table, right? Not boastful, right? But just like I know who I am, now I can tell you, hey, this is what I am. And I think a lot of people don't know who they are. And I'm telling you, I got 55-year-old clients that are just coming into who they are, right? Knock to them, right? Because even I was in like my mid-30s before I figured out who I was. Already, 10 years into the marriage, you know what I'm saying? 4 kids deep, 1 special needs, move my nephew in, move my mother-in-law in. I'm moving all these other problems in, and I got a problem going on too. 90% of the problems that we have are really problems that we picked up from somebody else. So I can't even deal with my own 10% because I'm dealing with 90% of other people's issues, right? And I'm just pulling it all in, right? And so I put up a post yesterday, and y'all can go back and look at it, whatever. And I was just like, okay, because the Beyonce concert was tonight, right? And so, no, I'm sorry. Before that, the post before that, I'm not gonna go to the Beyonce one. I'm gonna say this, it was 5 years ago. It was 2 clients that I had, right? And both of them were similar. 2 women, 2 attractive women, right? Both were divorced, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not going to go into too much detail of their business, but I'm going to say that because this is the part that I did post. I was just like, listen, when I met them, I gave them both the same instructions. And I said, step 1, sit down and stop dating. Figure out who you are first.
That's it. That's what I want to talk about.
Figure out who you are first. Do not date. I know you want some dick. I know you want to hang out. I know you want a foodie call. I know you want all that. Do not date. Both of them were like, they wanted to get married. They wanted a man, blah, blah. I said, okay, you trust me? You trust me. Okay, let's go. Both of y'all sit down, right? Fast forward, right? 5 years later, one of them is still trying to get married. The other one just got married on Saturday.
That's amazing.
Right? Now, what is the difference between the 2 of them? And one of them will tell you, right? Like she stopped dating for almost a year, right? The one let's say the one that didn't listen, right? She kept dating. She kept dating. She didn't stop dating, right? And so she kept running into the same people, and I'm like, yo, sit down. And she's like, okay, I am. 5 years later, still in the same place. The other person sat down for almost a year. Every book I gave her, every sermon I gave her, everything, she went in on herself. Okay, when she popped back up to start dating, she dated one dude, right? That didn't work out. After maybe about 4 or 5 months, she was like, I ain't feeling it, right? And the next dude that she met is her husband today. So she's really been, it's been 5 years and she's finally getting married, but she really was engaged like 2 years ago, right? So within 24 months, after sitting down and doing the work, She was in a committed, engaged, ring on her finger relationship. Why? Because she sat down and got her phrase was, I keep finding bottom feeders.
Mm-hmm.
That was her phrase. We always laugh at it, but I had to check her on certain things, and she was willing to listen. Right, and so that's the thing. It might not be Elam King, right? But it might be T, it might be Marq, it might be you, Jeanette, who you gonna take and bless somebody with this information. But like at the end of the day, sometimes we gotta sit down and don't date and get you right first before you step back out there. It's actually rude to date when you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead, T. Marie. You had something, T. Marie.
Well, you're exactly right, Elam. The whole thing about when I'm teaching, when I'm coaching my clients is that you do have to stop and understand who you are. Because at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, I know y'all hear me say this, you are the common denominator in every relationship that you have had, whether good, bad, or indifferent. So what you have to stop to see is, what is it about me, one, not bad or good, that I am attracting the same type of person. I am entertaining this whatever. And what do I feel about me? Do I feel like I deserve something amazing? Like if you don't feel like you deserve something amazing, you will continue to take what you can get. You really have to believe I deserve something amazing and not settle for anything other than something amazing. And too many times because it takes too long, what we think a year, 2 years is too long, we'll just be like, forget it. Come on, sir, I'll take you, right? And just because I just want somebody. But this is about understanding who you are, start enjoying your life with you, get you some good girlfriends who are, who feed you with just good, positive and support you or whatever. Find whatever project that is, but find Shanette. And when Shanette finds Shanette, Shanette's man is going to find Shanette. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's going to love everything about Shanette, okay? It's going to be everything that Shanette knows who she is that's going to attract him to Shanette. Because Shanette knows who she is, and he sees her, and he sees like, ooh, damn, Shanette. I don't know what it is about Shanette, but hey, girl, hi.
Don't nothing make me want to love you more than how you love yourself.
Yep.
I'm going to step up to how you love on yourself. Like, okay. And you don't have to say I'm independent. I got this, that, and the third. Just love yourself. And you will do that naturally, right? And it's going to make me be like, in order for me the right man, it's going to be like, in order for me to be with her, I got to love her at least to that level. And if I don't want to step up to that level, that you're cool with this level. Of course, you want a higher level, but you're making me come to the table, not by saying what your table is, what you got in your bank account, your credit report. Miss me with that, right? Miss Independent. That's a whole nother conversation with Miss Independent. If you just love on yourself.
I don't get down. Marq, no, I don't even get down like that, but I understand what you're saying.
Just be great in your
I don't know what you get down like. I ain't never seen you get down.
Don't even play like that. Don't even do that.
But be okay with having your own stuff now. Don't.
I get that completely.
Yeah.
I guess I'm saying that because I've always been a humble person. Like, that's just who I am.
Let me tell you what Marq and them taught me today. You gotta have some ego. They told me today that I need to walk in some ego. I need to have a little ego about it, because that ego can take me to. They did, because I kept saying I'm humble. I don't do all that. Marq like, no. Him and the Wiz said.
Break that one down for me, Marq. Marq, you got to break that one down for me.
Operate a little ego.
No, what I told her was that I said ego can be used for good and bad, right? Because the way she looked at it was in the negative connotation where people can abuse it, where they're not listening to their significant other, cannot work with others, etc. But then there's another side of ego that can be also combined. It's a form of confidence too, where you can use it for positive things. So you can use affirmations within yourself. Ego can be used for that. So I basically told her, men have egos. It's not really the ego, it's how we use it. That's the problem. That was the conversation. What do you think about? I just want to ask you about that too, Mr. King. What you think about that, sir?
Well, no, I don't disagree with you. I think it really goes with what I was just saying with Shanette earlier. To whereas if she's operating inside of and walking in the space that God has for her, that level of confidence, right, is sexy, right? It's not like, I don't care about your table. Okay, we'll take it to a Kevin Samuel moment of just saying a high value man, right? Listen, listen, the man's basics are dope. I don't care what anybody says. We can argue about that all day, right? But
not today, but yeah.
If we just went to the high value part and just say that high value meaning the type of man that you would want to be, right? We don't care about your table, like, and what you're bringing to the like, be great. We're not intimidated by that, right? And again, it makes me step up to the level of love that I need to bring you, because of what you brought, the love of who you are to the table, and drop that down. I love me. I'm gonna get up here. I'm gonna go operate out here and be great. I know how to, maintain and handle a home as well, right? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna love the hell out of me, and it's gonna make me say, I need to love the hell out of you at the level that you're loving the hell out of you. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't realize you are being loved at the level that you're loving yourself. So if you're not getting the love that you need, most likely it's because A, you let that stage one go by, you didn't know yourself, or B, you inserted yourself into their world, right? And C of that, part 3 of that is, whatever you see, believe it. Whatever you see how a person operates, believe it. Don't try to change it, right? Don't try to nurture it through. That is not your responsibility.
Not your job.
Not your job, right? If you can deal with it, stay in there. But step 4, cut your losses as soon as possible. You gotta watch having orgasms. You gotta watch that. It's gonna change your mind. It changes your mind. You know what I'm saying? Girl, he hit it, like he hitting it, and then he got pretty teeth, and then he got a decent job, and you're like, okay, let me nurture him through the fact that his quality time sucks.
Because that orgasm was so good. Jesus.
Right? You ain't never gonna change that.
Come back.
You're not gonna change that, right? Here's the thing, gifts, love language, guess where that is on my list? At the bottom. Does that make me cheap? Nope, I came up in a regular middle class family, and so we used to share gifts for Christmas, right? So name brands and a whole bunch of gifts, that's not a big deal to me. Not because I'm cheap, because I came up not in the projects. I came up just in a middle class regular family. I wasn't falling out with gifts like that.
You got that wet and silky tonight. Where you going, man? You got a date tonight?
Not a date, but I'm about to be outside.
Okay,
You gotta be outside.
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 That's what I'm talking about. Outside.
Okay.
You got a date tonight?
No, I do not. No date. No.
When last time you been on a date?
Maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago.
How long you been single? I assume you're single. How long you been single?
I've been single for since 2016.
Okay, what's been out there? What's going on?
Relationships or nothing?
Now I've had a hit relationship.
A who?
Hit or miss.
Oh, was it more hitting than missing? I'm just asking, man.
No more missing than hitting.
Because it likes the hitting and missed if you single. so okay. So yeah. So we got my man Ephraim King down there, and then we got Elam King. I'm sorry, Elam King, and then we got T Marie. Marie and Shanette up here.
Hello.
Okay.
Shanette, you just got something heat taken off of you.
I followed you guys when you guys did your thing with Marq. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff.
Any questions you got for that? Because you did see the stuff, though, right? Did you?
Yeah.
You did. Okay, yeah. She definitely. You remember her too, Shanette?
What happened?
Do you remember her?
Shanette, what?
I kind of do, but
Yeah, look, you jumped in just in time to get some of the heat off of her. Now we trying to figure out since 16, what you been doing since 2016 that you still say, do you think you're picky?
Yes, I do. I think that I'm picky, and I think that because of my past experiences, that I'm even more so picky. So something might be good, and if it's too good, then I get scared and I'm out.
Mr. King, would you talk to her about that?
I'm like, this shit is too good. I gotta go. Bye. I'm out.
I feel like it's too good to be true.
It's too good to be true. Like, I'm from Arkansas. So we use country stuff, right? So if it's too good to be true, you know what we say? It's a dead cat on the line somewhere. Something ain't right. Dead cat on the line somewhere.
That's some country ass shit right there.
Right, and I'm the country, and that's the country.
Dead cat on the line somewhere.
Oh, but Latasha, she my kind of baby already. She sipping. What you sipping?
Girl, tequila and cranberry.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers.
You got that taste.
Single women.
There you go.
I will let you sip on this.
Marq, what you got?
No, I guess.
Watch your mouth.
What's in your cup, Jeanette?
Nothing. I'm just saying cheers with the rest of y'all.
Mr. King, what you got?
Just cheers.
Mr. King, what you got?
Water. Is that water? Is that water?
Yeah.
Is that water?
No ice.
Latasha, I want to ask you, because you said you were on a date, 2 weeks ago, right?
Right.
How was that? Let's talk about it, because if it's 2 weeks ago, we ain't talking about a second date. So let's talk about that.
Wait. Did Marq just gargle the damn tea?
Like we didn't see that.
Y'all just gonna let that fly by. Like, I need somebody to address that.
We're gonna let that fly by.
Hey man, that's how you taste it, man. Make it hit your palate real good. Yeah. Go ahead.
So
Had
no
to savor
second
the
date
flavor.
from the first date. So what happened?
No.
Okay.
No second date. See, I'm about done with this online dating shit. I'm about done. I'm about done with it. Okay, so I met this guy. He DM'd me on Facebook, right?
Okay.
Conversation was great. Great conversation. He was like, hey, yeah, let me fly you in and hang out with you. I'm going to show you some things. We're going to hang out. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So I needed to be in Atlanta anyway, because I needed to meet with my aunt. So I okay, well, yeah, I'm going to be in Atlanta anyway. So I'm going to fly in. We can hang out. I'll meet up with you. And
You hear that, don't you, Mr. King? Go ahead.
She got flued out. Okay.
Got flued out. I was thinking the same. Flued out.
Yeah, but I was on some other business, though. Seriously, I did have some other business. But, he did offer to fly me out. So it secured him some time, right?
Okay,
so we hung out. And I was optimistic. He was tall. He was dark-skinned, beautiful smile. Good guy, great job, everything like that. I've checked out on his Facebook profile. Dude was good. Okay, so look, all of our video chats, he was like this.
Uh-oh.
Angles matter.
I'm here. I wasn't before. I didn't understand it, but he was like this. And I was like, dude, he's kind of cute, So I met him. He was kind of thick around the midsection. A little bit more so than I like, because I need somebody that's going to be able to go to the gym with me. We're going to hang out. We're going to get our gym time.
Right.
Get somebody there with me. Show me some stuff, I'm a nurse, so I be doing more than you when I go to the gym, because I'm getting nurse mode thinking that something wrong with you. I'm like, is you about to bottom out? Your blood pressure, blood sugar, what we got going on? You know what I mean? So, I need somebody that's gonna be able to get in the gym with me. I'm sorry, but he was kind of big in the midsection. But I said, me being me, I'm gonna give you a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you start listening to Luther Vandross. You don't know nothing about this. You don't know nothing about this. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't.
What?
He went old school on me. So you old school, you're big around the midsection. You're big around the midsection, and the more I looked at him, I swear the dude had dentures. I was out.
So no dentures, no midsection, and can't be old. Cause how old are you, Latasha?
44.
How old you think he was?
50 something.
Hey, you know what I thought about while she was talking? I'm glad Shanette is in the room. I'm gonna tell you why I'm glad Shanette is in the room. I think there is a part of Tasha that you can incorporate into your own. I'm just being honest. She has a sense of confidence, I think, that you may want to kind of make it your own, of course, but learn how to talk like that. You see how it is? You see what I'm talking about?
So, Latasha, can I ask you a question really quickly? I'm sorry, Mark.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Really quickly.
Latasha, can I ask you a question? Have you ever heard of something called the imposter syndrome?
No, I've heard of something called the
I know you lying.
syndrome.
So no. So there's something that's called the imposter syndrome. So you guys can go to Google right now, and anybody who's listening to us, go to Google and Google imposter syndrome, because it's something that you said earlier that I want to make sure, and you are beautiful, by the way. But I want to just I got a yellow light up really quickly, right? Of something that's called the imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome, I'm going to read the definition really quickly. I want you to think back to what you said earlier. Is the condition of feeling anxious and not experiencing success internally, despite being high performing in external objective ways. This condition often results in people feeling like a fraud or a phony and doubting their abilities. The reason why that I'm saying that to you is because something that, in my opinion, not intentionally that was done, of that, like if you said things were going really good, there's gotta be a problem. As if you're not worth the good that was coming to you. So you have something that was going on that was great, and you're like, oh no, there's gotta be banana in the tailpipe. There's gotta be something that's wrong with the situation. And then you could have, at times, sabotaged your relationship. Not saying that person didn't have any challenges, not saying whatever, I mean, the whole human over there, but just when you made that statement regarding, that, oh no, there's gotta be something, whatever, but you were great in what you did and what you do, and you deserve that greatness that you were feeling. And so do you think that perhaps there might have been times that whereas that you were just utilizing that same thought process of, okay, no, something's got to be wrong, which then you're now bringing that energy into your relationship of something's got to be wrong, therefore something began to be wrong?
Mr. King, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because I was married for 18 years, okay? And in my 18 years of marriage, I experienced a little bit of trauma, in the sense that I tried to be everything for him, and it just never was good enough. So, and he was rainbows and sunshine when I first met him. Did Johnny on the spot, did everything just right. So you may be on to a little something when I say that. Now, granted, I do believe and do think that I deserve the best, because I know my self-worth. But because I was in that relationship for 18 years, I promised myself that I'd never do that again. I went into that.
Okay, that makes sense.
already knowing that it was, y'all know my phrase, a dead cat on the line, you know, but I went into that. And so with me going into that, you know, he just showed me over and over again that he made it difficult for me to feel secure in the relationship. I'm going to say that. He made it real difficult for me to feel secure in the relationship. And no matter how hard I tried, and toward the end of that relationship, I became a different person because I became what I thought he needed me to be or wanted me to be. So when I left that relationship, I promised myself I'll never be in another relationship where I feel like I got to change myself, and I'll never be in a relationship where I feel like there is something lacking. So when I go
like there's something what?
Lacking. Something lacking. That there's something that's missing. So when I go on dates and I enter into relationships, if I feel like there's something that's missing, if there's something lacking, or if I feel that I can't control my feelings, because I love this man uncontrolled. Man, I loved him like I've never loved anybody else. And because he made me feel like I wasn't good enough, so you may be on to something. You know, you may be on to something. He made me feel like I wasn't good enough. And so I promised myself, if a person can't love me for who I am, or if I'm in a relationship where I feel like, or if I'm dating someone, not a relationship, if I'm dating someone and I feel like there may be something missing, or if I can't control my feelings, if I'm falling in love with this person and I can't control my feelings, I do have a tendency to kind of, you know, throw up a wall or something. So you might be on to something, Mr. King. Are you like a relationship expert or some shit? Let me take a drink. Y'all pull your drinks up. Pull your glasses up. Let's take a drink.
There you go, girl. There you go. There you go.
I just wanted to, I think it's important to highlight what you were talking about, because I've heard this from, you know, other people. And again, I didn't come up with the imposter syndrome, but I think that there's a lot of people that meet that condition sometimes, and will self-sabotage a relationship because of that. Not that you're not great, not that your table ain't dope, right? But it's almost like, ooh, you know, like, and one of the things that you said he made it difficult to be secure in the relationship. And you didn't hear what we said maybe about, I don't know, 30 minutes ago, when I was just like, you can't tell me who I am and who I am not as I walk into a relationship right now. So somebody who would come with that same level of energy of trying to make me feel insecure, I'm like, this is who I am. Period. Right. And you either are able to accept that or not, right? Yeah. And there's a level of humility, there's adaptability, there's some things that I can kind of smooth over the surfaces. So I'm not saying 100% of me is what you're gonna get, but there's off the rip, there might be an 80 that I'm like, this is what I am. You have to meet this. If you can't meet this, that's okay. Just because you have two great people doesn't mean that that's your person. You know what I'm saying? Oil and water are both amazing substances, but for some strange reason, they cannot mix. So oil is great and water is great. And sometimes you the oil, he the water, back and forth, whatever, right? And so when you know that you're oil and you're like, I'm oil, and you know that he water and he dope, you just like, you're dope and I'm dope, we just don't mix. And that's something that we can see up front a lot of times when we pay attention. And again, not sleeping with the person, right? I think not sleeping with somebody is one of the strongest things that you can do inside of a relationship, because you can see, ladies in particular, you can see what's going on. Men, we can see it, still slang, go and keep it moving, right? But because we're inside of you, because an orgasm is actually a guide for your biological to tell you that this is the man that you should choose. That's what your biology tells you. You can't beat that. That's why sometimes when women decide women can do what men can do, that's a whole lie. You can't biologically really do it. because that orgasm tells you that's the man to choose. And you will then begin to use your imagination and shape yourself around that person. As you said, Latasha, be all that he wanted you to be. And the one person that does not show up inside of most relationships is ourselves. And so what we do is we attach ourselves to somebody else's expectation, and then we resent them for what we made the choice to go do. So I get what it makes sense what you're saying, not a bad person. And Shanette, what I would say is that as you're growing into being the better Shanette, understand that at the end of the day, like, you deserve exactly the greatness that's coming towards you, right? And you staying level with your spirituality will allow God to show you if this is the right person, right? So that's why if you loved hard on this one, you can turn around and go love hard again. And people sometimes, and I think, Tasha, I heard you say this, that you're just like, I'm not going to do that again. And I'm like, I hear people say that. And if I got you wrong, let me know. But sometimes people don't want to go back in. And it's like, no, love hard every time. Because the God that you serve is going to bring you the desires of your heart. So if you're walking inside of the space that he has for you, you can love hard all over again. And this work, unlike what that one didn't.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with loving hard. I can't help that because that's who I am as a person. But but on the forefront of things, I am a little bit more selective on who I choose to love hard. Because like you said, they have to first see me for me. Because one thing that I'm not going to do anymore is be a what someone else wants me to be. A person has to accept me for me, and I'm some type of person. I'm a different type of person. So you have to be able to deal with that. I'm an extrovert. I love people. I love meeting people, and a lot of people can deal with that. Because I smile a lot, and I've been told by other women that, hey, you're smiling a little bit too much. My husband is taking that the wrong way. Someone told me that. Shit, I know. But that's just who I am as a person. When I came in smiling, right? Because that's just who I am.
Insecurity at its best. That is worst.
So no one else is going to dictate. No one else is going to dictate how I behave or who I am as a person. You're going to have to love me for me. That's just it. So
I got a question. Where is Marq and T. Marie at? Because they going ghost on us.
I'm over here coordinating. There's other people. I had somebody else that's gonna come in, so I'm over here coordinating somebody else right quick. You know what I mean? So I'm working behind the scenes over here. T. Marie, I was talking to her. Her computer went dead, so she's getting ready to log back in a second. You know what I mean? But I hear y'all. I heard a whole bunch of what I heard earlier. Orgasms and ejaculations and it's definitely Friday night, goddamn. But facts,
here's the thing. I try to tell women, dickmatized is a real thing.
Dickmatized? Huh? You say dickmatized?
Yes.
Dickmatized.
It
is a real thing.
It is.
Dickmatized.
I'm sorry?
I don't think I've ever been dickmatized.
We'll give you.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me look at these notes again. According to these notes that you said earlier, you said, I became what he wanted me to be. That's called dickmatized.
That's not dickmatized. That was my husband.
I'm sorry. Just because, let's remove the word husband for a second. You were becoming somebody that was either A, uncomfortable for you, B, not who you could be, or C, who you could not be, who you couldn't sustain.
I want to tell you, it wasn't dickmatized because we wasn't having a whole lot of sex.
He was 13 years older than me, and his penis didn't work. So I wasn't.
All right. So no. So I'm glad you said that. So now we're gonna look back. So remember, Marq and Shanetta, remember I said in the beginning regarding imagination, right? So let me ask you this question real quick, Latasha. Huh?
But I imagine his dick was good.
No. You were. Would you say that you saw your relationship in a space of where it really could be if you and him were on the same page and able to walk in a certain direction?
No, I was in love. This was the man I was going to spend the rest of my life with. You know, we talked about
so you
things,
saw this life.
things.
So let's take out love, because love does not keep people together. So let's look at the fact that you saw
Obviously.
a certain space in your relationship where you wanted it to be, right? Yes? No?
Did you freeze or are you thinking?
Did you freeze? Tasha?
Right. Okay, I go with that.
Might have froze.
I can go with that, Mr. King.
You say you can or you can't?
I'm here. Can you not hear me? I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, she a ventriloquist right now. We got you down. We back up. But earlier you was yeah, that's why you was looking. You was blinking and your mouth wasn't moving, but we heard you. What kind of
I'm doing sign language.
and you talking? Okay, so let's get back to look. Okay, Shanette, when you said something about being digmatized, you knew exactly what that was. You been digmatized before?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I knew exactly what he meant.
Hey, so what does digmatized? Yeah, you just came back in on digmatized section. So the digmatized. Hey, what does the digmatized make you do? What did it make you do? And you realize? And how did you wake up on the digmatization?
It made my ass in denial. I know that much.
What you mean?
It made you in denial.
Tina Marie, what are you thinking right now?
Y'all gonna think I'm lying, and this might be the dude in me. I have never, and I've had some good ass. Never been digmatized.
Never been.
You ain't had no good ass dick.
Yes, I have. Listen, I know what good dick feel like.
Some of the best.
Let me tell you something. I done had some good dick, but dick ain't never controlled how I move, right? It ain't never been the determining factor.
It made you stay longer. It made you stay longer in a situation that you.
But see, I'm not saying. So let me clarify.
It did not. Okay, whatever. What, Eva? Go ahead. Never. What,
I'm out.
Go ahead.
I'm out.
You said what?
Get a trick bag, baby. I'm out.
Go ahead, Eva. You know what? This ain't my show. Get the hell on. Whatever.
This loose. We loose today. We loose. Ain't nobody. It's everybody's show.
I'll drink to that.
Look, everybody put their drinks up.
Right. Okay, Ela, what is it? What the hell you got to say? That's right. Get that tasty out.
Hey, but T, you've heard me. I think I've been on your show and I've said this to you before, right? So just real quick, I'm gonna give the elevator version. Do you guys know? Everybody knows the reason why a man ejaculates, right? To get the sperm out, right? So that it goes to produce the baby, right? What's the reason why that a woman has an orgasm?
You tell me. I'm gonna tell you.
Because of the man, right?
Huh?
A woman has
No,
an orgasm, right?
Well, no, not because of the man.
A woman has an orgasm because a man has touched a particular spot in her vaginal wall and made her want to have an orgasm.
But still, technically, it belongs to the man, right? I don't know.
Wait, I'm gonna wait. My hand is
I'm
up.
gonna go back. Wait, let that Marq just said it. What's the purpose? We know how it got there. What's the purpose of an orgasm?
I don't know. What is? So I can have
connection.
fun?
I know why.
So the reason for an orgasm. The reason for obviously you got the man ejaculates, right, to get the sperm in you, right? The reason for an orgasm is because, ladies, y'all know you got 2 ovaries, right? You release 1 egg every single month, right? You don't know, those of you who are on a cycle right now, this month or last month, when you released that egg, which one did it come from? The left ovary or the right ovary? You don't know. Great. But guess what? Your body does know. So when you have an orgasm, what that does is it squeezes the sperm in the direction of which egg got released. Remember, the goal to have sex is to procreate. We happen to enjoy it. So that means that your body is saying that if that man brings you to orgasm, you have a higher probability of siring his children, which means your brain then says, connect with this person. This is whether you want to have children or not. This is biological. You can't argue this. Google it. Right? So this is the thing. You might not be walking around with dick on your forehead saying, this is the reason why I'm being with this person, but your subconscious is saying, give this person a better chance. Give this person more grace. Hang around this person a little bit more. Take what this person is dealing with.
It's almost like a soul tie, correct?
Huh?
It's almost like a soul tie, correct?
Anytime you have sex,
I just said it. I was just asking the question.
Anytime you have sex unprotected and a man ejaculates or a woman ejaculates, that's a soul tie. So
Yeah.
I can't agree with you on that.
Okay.
Look,
It doesn't matter whether you agree. I just said something that's biological, so you don't have to agree with me. You can. This is
it's
Google.
biological.
I didn't come up with this.
Logically,
I didn't come up with this.
I have
It's biological.
and I can't have. Since 2014. Okay, I haven't been able to produce a child.
He's not talking about that.
Respectfully, it doesn't matter whether you can have children or not. Your brain is designed to think like this. So what I'm saying is not opinion.
I can't.
Look.
So pretty much what you're saying is scientific fact.
Yeah, what you're saying is scientific. So you cannot argue it. Like right now. Okay. So right now, Marcus is a man. That's biological. Can't nobody on this phone argue. What I'm saying is biological. You cannot argue it. Whether you want to have children or not does not matter. But I know she froze because she wasn't saying anything.
Go ahead, T. Marie. Fill in.
I know everybody thought I was froze. I wasn't froze. Okay. Let me say, and this sometimes I don't know, right? I just need to. I'm telling y'all, and I am not talking from no ego, because if I was ever stigmatized, I would tell you, because I don't have a problem with saying. I don't have no problem with saying that the dick was good. I don't have no problem with saying that I don't. But it's never been it's never been a determining factor. I've never stayed with somebody because of the sex. I never have.
He's not saying that. He's not saying that.
But okay, so what is stigmatized then? You're saying that I gave somebody a more of a chance. I stayed with a person because I was committed to the relationship, and that's normally in a marriage, or I've committed, but it definitely was not the sex.
I'm gonna even say it this way. This is basically what. Okay, when he's talking about the biological, here's his thing: the information you can look up. That's number one. You can always look it up if you choose to.
Sure.
That's choice. Okay, so
but
2.
everybody is, even though it's biological.
I'm finished. Okay. Okay, so that's 1, and then 2. You got to think about it. Basically what he's saying is there is scientific proof that when a man lays with a woman, he not only, yes, soul ties correct, but he also alters the mind. This biological. No. You can shake your head, no, but you can look it up, and it states that when we lay with you, your mind is being altered due to sex. It's science.
That must be right.
I'm not going back and forth. I'm gonna let y'all have it. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
I am abnormal.
But you know what? Respectfully, what this says is that, think about it. I started off by asking a question of what's the reason for orgasm. Nobody knew, but then when I share what it is, you're saying it isn't.
No, what I'm saying,
that doesn't even compute.
What I'm saying is, No, what I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is, okay, can we have this conversation? One, if the purpose of an orgasm is what you said, right? I feel like I'm behind. No, I'm hearing myself.
It's like an echo.
It's echo from somewhere. It's probably from you.
Okay. So what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Yeah, turn your speaker down or something.
Go ahead.
No, but what I'm saying is, you said the purpose of an orgasm was to what now? What was it?
Now, what
To
it was?
connect
Here's
with
the
the
thing.
man
Come
because
on,
of
Brad.
your ovaries is trying to, I
Thank you. Come
guess,
on, Shanette,
connect
'cause he
with
wasn't trying
the
to tell me.
male as far as ejaculation. So when you guys lay together, like he stated, you don't know exactly what ovary is ovulating, but that's where the orgasm comes in.
Thank you,
Because
Shanette, so much.
your uterus is an orgasm is your uterus vibrating, right? Just to give it easy. So it's squeezing the sperm.
No. An orgasm can come from multiple places. Not just
But that's not what he just said, though, Tasha.
No.
He's pretty much saying that it's a frequency, it's a vibration.
Hold on for a second.
Okay,
One
go
second.
ahead.
Tasha, where did you get that from? Because he didn't even say that.
Well, he said an orgasm comes from the uterus. An orgasm comes from more places than the uterus, baby.
Okay.
No,
it's a clitoral orgasm. Or orgasm can come from multiple places.
Okay, but he's just talking about one specific area. He didn't.
But that's so.
He
This
didn't
is what I'm
generalize it. He said one. He never said one.
But here's
He
the
just told
thing,
you
though.
about one specific area.
But the whole conversation was that the purpose of the orgasm was whatever y'all said, right? Whatever. I still don't know what y'all said. Okay. And y'all seem to think, and what y'all seem to think is that y'all give women orgasms all the time.
I didn't say that.
And you don't.
I didn't say that.
So if I don't orgasm, if I don't have an orgasm with you, or you don't cause my orgasm, because there's been times when I've been with somebody that we're having sex and I use some other tactics that had nothing to do with you to get my orgasm. Okay.
Was he there? Was he present?
Yeah, yes, he was present. Yes, he
so
was
indirectly, indirectly he acted as a stimuli, though, right?
If I held it, does that count? If I held it, does that count?
Well, I asked you, was he a stimuli? That's all I asked. And you, I asked you, was he present?
Come on now, chime in, sis. Chime in, sis. Why do you have orgasm?
Me? Oh, Shanette.
No, Shanette.
Oh, okay.
I'm just listening. Each one teach one. I'm just listening.
No, tell us, Shanette. Why do you have an orgasm?
I got a question. Here's my question. I have a question. Okay, so is there any other reason or purpose for orgasm other than to feel good in you guys' opinion? There's no other reason other than that. So that's the only purpose it serves.
So my thing is, I learned something new today. That's all right. I learned something new today. But
I'm always willing to learn.
I'm just saying, I've learned something new today, but in all honesty,
to learn with the whiz. Oh wait, hold on.
Procreation.
Are we really finna go here? Are we really finna go here?
That's where connection comes in and soul tie comes in.
You said the purpose of having sex is to procreate, right? It's to procreate. So after you've passed that, for women, when women are not able to have children, did you know that women in their 40s are the hottest ever, and half of them can't have kids.
Okay,
but they some hot women. They get extremely horny, and they have some of the hottest sex ever. Matter of fact, when they're in their 40s, that's when they have the best sex.
Hey Tasha, let me say this right quick, and I hope y'all understand this. There's more than one There's more than one purpose for everything.
That's true.
So the first purpose, one of the purposes of it is for you guys to procreate. There's one purpose.
Right.
Another purpose is also to give you satisfaction, right?
Right.
That's another purpose, right?
Right.
One can be removed, such as not having children, but it still means what we're just saying. Even when with his Mr. King's example earlier, yes, all those things you said as far as the orgasms and all those things. Just keep in mind that there's also another purpose for it too as well. That's all we're saying. It's more. It ain't just one purpose.
All I was trying to say is that I ain't never been digmatized. That's all I was trying to say. And
I
y'all
understand that,
like,
but we had to break it down because y'all
couldn't believe. But y'all just act like you couldn't believe that I had never been digmatized, as if every woman has been digmatized and you have to be digmatized.
Tina Reed, what's your definition of digmatized, Tina? Let's make sure we understand how you view it.
Well, y'all act like, because y'all act as if digmatized mean that somebody's sex was so good that it caused me to make irrational decisions on why I should stay with this person because of the sex. That's what we're talking. That's
okay. So can I ask you a question?
Because that's what hypnotized mean, right?
Okay, so let me ask you one question. With that being said, and I'm sure, have you ever been with someone longer than what you're supposed to have at any point?
Absolutely. Okay. I have, but you didn't have nothing to do with it.
So
y'all gonna tell me that has something to do with the sex? Because I can promise you.
What I'm saying, no, but through the sex.
I'm gonna tell you
Tasha,
why a
one
woman.
second. I'm 1 second.
Wow.
1 second. No, what I'm saying to you is that if you believe in soul ties, like y'all say y'all believe in soul ties, that's what
there's a connection somewhere. I'm just gonna put my 2 cents on what I'm hearing, because I hear both sides, but I can agree that soul ties is real, and sometimes what we saying and what they're trying to say is sometimes when you're being dignitized doesn't necessarily have to do with good sex, because we always end up, when you're procreating, especially unprotected sex, it's always going to be some type of connection with each other, regardless if the dick is good or the dick is trash. It's still he's still entered into you. There's still some type of connection somewhere down the line. Some women may be a little bit weaker to that connection, or may be a little bit more submissive to that connection, and some women are a little bit more stronger. So I kind of get what points everybody is trying to say. That's why I'm just listening. It's not that I don't have an opinion. I'm just listening.
Break it down, girl.
I really, this is what I feel like what they're trying to say is they're trying to say, regardless whether the dick is good, whether the dick is trash, soul ties is still always going to be there and a factor, because a man has physically entered your body. So now, since this man has entered your body, and regardless if it's trash or not, and you had somewhere down the line, whether you had did this orgasm or yourself, technically you still had the orgasm, and technically at the point your body is at this point of ovulation where your body is trying to connect with this man once he ejaculates, is what I'm trying to
that might be why I love myself so much.
You know what? I'm gonna say this too. We gotta also remember. We gotta also remember we're two. We also gotta remember we're two parts, right? What I mean by two parts, it's two parts of us. You got the human being part of us, and you got the spiritual side of us, right?
That's it.
And so what happens is both have to react. Physically, you're connected through sex. Spiritually, you're gonna be connected.
Spiritually, you're gonna be connected. And I really honestly feel like didn't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I really feel like as to why. But I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I really feel like sometimes why people feel the way that they feel after having sex is because they didn't actually enter their body into somebody else, and they didn't actually transfer that spirit into you because of you being a weak individual. Not saying that you're weak as far as like weak, but sometimes people can be spiritually weak, where I've actually heard people say, every time I have sex with this person, I feel drained. Or every time I have sex with this person, I feel different. I feel odd. I feel weird because soul ties is so connected that this person has entered this person. This person has had sex with this person. And, you know, they already doing some hypersexual BS anyway. So this person is having sex with this person without a condom. This person has had a sex without this person without a condom. And then they come to you and have sex with you without a condom. And now you feeling all of this energy, frequency, vibration, and you wondering why you feeling the way you feel after you have sex with this person.
That's why I call her the gym mother.
I gotta go. My closet is calling me all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I believe that.
That's an interesting theory.
I don't think
Mr.
that.
King?
You don't think so? I mean,
hold on, Sinead. I want to hear Mr. King for a second. What you think about the whole
his head been down for like 2.5 minutes.
I understand that, but I want to give Mr. King's opinion on it, right?
Yeah, his head been down for like 2.5 minutes.
Great.
Everybody on this phone has been hungry before, right? Like you wanted to go eat, right? And so maybe you wanted a chicken or you wanted a steak or whatever case may be. The reason why that you felt that you were hungry is because your body needed nutrients to put the food certain places in your body. Now, do you know if it was needed to make your leg grow or your toenail grow or your nails grow? You have no idea what that is. Only thing you know is I am hungry, so I'm going to eat. And then once that food gets inside, everybody ate today because nobody looks like that they're hurting, right? What part of your body did that food go to? I'll wait.
The midsection.
Okay. So in other words, you have no idea where those nutrients went, but it went somewhere within your body.
The woman.
No, pretty much you're saying it goes through.
At the end of the day, what I'm sharing with you is that when you're asking
when you
question,
eat, the nutrients go through your.
So your body is designed. Every single thing that we do is for a reason. It has a reason. Okay, anyway, before going any further, at the end of the day, like, just because you cannot produce children anymore, it doesn't mean that your brain is not still programmed in a certain capacity. Just because you put the condom on, your brain doesn't know what a condom is. Your subconscious mind has no idea what a condom is. It just knows that I just received something that said that I have a higher probability of continuing the species with this person. So I should attach myself to this person to a certain degree. I'm going to give this person a little bit more patience. I'm going to give this person a little bit more time. Every single person that's on this phone has given somebody time that you now look back and say, I should not have done that. You might not use the word dickmatize. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is biological. Period. And you're fighting it. And that's why I'm sitting here being quiet, because I'm telling you what it is. And you're like, no, it's because it feels good. No, that's just the byproduct of it. And you're fighting. Who has done any research? No, and no disrespect to anybody on this phone, but I'm telling you something. This is the way your brain works, and you're telling me no. This is the way it works. That's why you've given a man more time than he was due.
Can we go back?
You call it soul ties.
Let's go back.
I call it your brain.
I do believe, okay, but we need to understand what we started out with, right? We started out with the word dickmatized. And when we were talking about dickmatized, we were talking about as if that, and y'all said it, that the dick was so good.
I didn't say. Okay, this is a recorded conversation. Calls are being recorded for quality assurance and purposes. You understand? I have not said that.
Okay.
I did not say that.
Okay, so the implication felt as if. Wait a minute, Elam, it's my turn.
Okay, go ahead.
The implication was, when we all hear the word dickmatized, can we all be fair about this? That it has normally been in the space of the sex was so good. Anywhere it's written, anywhere a book has been about or anything, the word dickmatized has always implicated that the sex was so good that the person couldn't stay. Now, what I do agree with is that the connection, because of sex, because of how we are, has probably, because we connected with that person, made us stay, but not the sex itself, the act of sex and how good the sex was. And what I'm saying is the sex, I've never been in a space when we use the word digmatized in the way that it's implicated, that the sex was so good that it made me stay, because I stayed in places where it had absolutely nothing to do with how good the sex was, but the connection that probably had to do with, you know, us being sexually, being intimate was why I stayed. But I don't want people to be sitting here thinking that dick is so, because let's be fair. When you hear the word digmatized, listen, in every form you've ever looked it up, heard it written, it's always about the sex was so good that it made you stay. Now, can we be fair about that?
Terminology. The only reason why I use that terminology is just to bring reference to what it really comes from. So I apologize if that was a trigger, but I'm letting you know I only use that as a form of just reference. So maybe I should not have even used that, right? So I can apologize for that. But I stand firm on the fact that whether it was a 2-inch penis and you had an orgasm, you got the same. You got, if it was 2 inches or 12 inches, if you reach climax, your brain begins to change because of that person. I'm sorry. If he ate the pussy or if he dicked you down, your brain doesn't know he ate it. It just says you had an orgasm. This is that dude.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So attach yourself.
So look, check this out. So the first word, the root, so we're going to break it down.
Okay.
Right? So first word, dick. We all know what a dick is, right? Okay. All right, come on. So then the last part of that is Mirage, which comes from what? Mesmerize, right? So check the definition. To have someone's attention complete so that they cannot think of anything else. So there has been a time, good, bad, or indifferent, where so that you have fell up under this definition to have someone's attention complete so that they cannot think of anything else. So at some point, whether you love them, they can put you in that state, or let's say, for instance, if it was a bad situation, sometimes it puts you in a state where you can't, think of anything else outside of what they done to you. That's that connection that we're talking about. So according to the definition of the two words that we put together, which is dick and mesmerize, which was digmatized, we would probably say it falls up under what we said earlier.
I can't wait for people to see this one right here. Like this is probably going to be the one that I can't wait for people.
Let me tell you one thing. I will not get argued on what I said because it's biological. I won't get argued.
Well, I'm going to tell you that you can have a woman have sex with a man and not be digmatized. Because I agree with Tina Marie. I was not digmatized. The reason why I say because I wasn't married. I say because the dude could not even, the sex was horrible. But I loved him and it didn't have nothing to do with sex. I stayed because we were married. I've never been digmatized. Let me tell you something. Think about a woman. A woman don't like to run up numbers. Okay? So if she has sex, whether it's good or bad, sometimes she's going to try to stay in it to see if it can work. Whether the dick is good or bad. The fact that she has sex with him. I don't think dick has anything to do with it.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
No, wait a minute. Granted, some women do get digmatized, but I don't think I'm one of them.
Marie, do you know of any women that's been digmatized?
Yes, absolutely I do.
Right. What about you, Sinead? You know of any? So we can believe that digmatized exists, man, correct?
I do. I believe that digmatized
exists. Okay, so thank you. I think at least we acknowledge if you haven't been, at least we can go back to Mr. King's original point.
We never
hold on, time out. You guys argued that point like he was wrong, like it didn't exist.
No, he didn't say it was wrong. We just said it doesn't happen to everybody, but it don't matter. I just want this video to come out so I can hear all.
It don't happen for every woman.
Well, you want somebody to back you the way y'all was backing each other earlier. Like,
no. What I'm saying is, stigmatized do exist.
I just can't wait to hear the commentary because that's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting.
But here's the thing. Let me tell you something. The information I shared, that's honors class. When this hits, I'm gonna say it just like this. When this hits the airwaves, we're going. You got honors and college prep in general. You're gonna hit general. People who have no idea, they're not even gonna be able to absorb this information.
Excuse you, I am honored. Do you need to see that degree?
I didn't say you. I said when it hits other people, they're not even gonna be able to. They're going I want them to Go ahead.
I just want to see
what I say.
Yeah, I just want to see the reaction because I think it's going to be real interesting just to see the reaction of people. I don't care whether they agree.
You can't put this shit in the levels. Let me tell you something.
I got something to read right quick. No. I got something to read right quick.
Let me tell you something.
No. Hold on.
And I'm gonna tell you
Tasha.
Everybody don't.
Tasha.
All people are not the same. You want to categorize people and put them in these levels, but all people are not cut from the same cloth.
You're correct. That makes levels.
Tasha.
Not the same cloth, it's levels.
But it ain't no.
You know what? It's like saying fat or plus size. Like it doesn't matter. Like it's the same thing. Like it's levels. And so the information when it hits the airways, this call has people who are on honors level. When it hits certain people, they're not at that level. And it's okay. They can get there, but I'm still going to give the real information. You cannot deny what I'm saying. You just said that it feels you have an orgasm because it feels good. You're incorrect.
Because I can't procreate.
I know it feels good, but it has a purpose.
If I have orgasm, it's because the shit feels good. But no, and I'll tell you another thing. I can have sex with, and now call me what you want, but I can have sex with somebody and then don't ever have to see them again. Ain't no soul ties. I can have sex with somebody and just leave and don't ever have, kind of like you men do. I can have sex with somebody and I'm done. Especially if it's not.
The great thing about the mind is that if you make a decision and want to go do something, it supersedes everything else. So if your brain wants to take you in one direction, but you make a conscious decision and be like, I just wanted to hit it one night and keep it moving, that makes sense too.
Now you just said something that makes
sense. You're overriding. It's called an override. Like you're overriding what
Yeah.
I override my brain all the time.
And Tasha, Tasha, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Nope.
Okay.
I can't.
Well, we might need you to step out so you can hear me for real though. Because listen, here's the thing. We're gonna listen. You get that thing going, you get that wheel turning, girl. You need to relax. I'm gonna tell you, relax. Cause yeah, I'm calling your name. You just going in. We got you, baby. We're gonna get you in there. Okay, we got you.
Yeah, girl, my shit.
I got her. She gonna get in there.
I got tequila.
I understand that, but we can't. But emotions, man, we gotta learn how to.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Learn how to do what?
Curve it a little bit. To curve it a little bit while we're here. Listen, here's the thing. I'm trying to conduct some structure a little bit, right? And I'm calling you, but you doing this. Just listen. That's all. When I call you, just kind of that's all I'm asking. All right?
So stop talking in the middle of my sentence.
No, I didn't say that. I just said just listen. You can finish. You can finish, but at the same time, finish your point. And if I say something, just kind of like, not even, listen, I'm not even telling you, shut up, be quiet, nothing like that. I'm just saying, just listen, just hear me out, because we're trying to get everybody's point in. That's all. I gotta have some type of structure, right?
Go ahead, man.
It's not your turn, Tina Marie.
Oh,
Mark is trying to have.
Excuse me.
Okay, so how many you didn't have at what time you got to be there? Huh? How many you had at what time you got to be there? You all right?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Is it okay for me to speak?
Okay, listen. We're not gonna change it. We're not gonna switch the vibe up. The only thing I'm saying is that I'm just trying to keep order. That's all. That's all. That's it. I love you, my girl. If I can correct you, we can move on. If not, then hey, let's just move on and talk about something else. So, Shanette, right? Shanette.
Yes, sir. Yo.
Now let's get back. Eric, there was a question that we asked you about the rubber thing. Do you believe in the rubber theory? That the rubber can stop the ties and
I mean, I was just talking, but you know, it could not. But if it's scientifically stating that it don't matter, then there go your answer.
What do you think?
Chanel said, what you not about to do is get me up in all of it.
No, I don't even do this. I don't even get down like that for real. As you see, listening and hearing is two different things. I'm just completely listening to everybody's point of view.
We're all
I know it's all fun and love, but still, just giving each and everybody respect to speak. That's all I'm doing. Everybody give everybody respect to speak. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I'm okay with that. I mean, like you said, we just having general conversation. Everybody, again, views and beliefs are different, but that's why I say each one teach one, because now I'm learning where your personality comes from. I'm learning where you're coming from. I'm understanding why you feel the way you know. That's why I'm not saying nothing, not because I'm being non-confrontational. I'm not saying anything because I'm literally listening to what everybody has to say, so I can get a better understanding. So when I do respond, I won't be responding off of emotion, but information what I've just heard. So that's how I'm doing.
Again, what you're not about to do is bring her home, man.
Hey, but you know what? But you know what? No, and look, I'm glad Tasha came in. I'm glad we had somebody else come in right before y'all, but we definitely had Tasha come in. And everybody, you know what? This is really we can point all this information back towards Shanette, because now, as you see, we all have something about us. We were talking about it earlier before Tasha came in, right? Everybody's got a story. Right, your story isn't different than your story isn't different. Well, the stories are different, but it's still everybody has a story, right? And so now everybody has found ways to get out or work through their issues or whatever they may feel, you know, or to get over that particular story. So, you know, at least you know that we all in the same boat. Your situation is not worse than anybody else out there.
Child, no.
Right. And then what makes you and Tasha similar too is, and Tasha could speak on this, where there was a time for her that she had to get back out on the dating scene too as well. And there were some things that she may lacked. So what were some of those things that you would probably say, Tasha, that what fears you had, what things you saw that you needed to work on when you stepped out of the marriage?
Right. Well, for one, I had to identify myself. You know, because I spoke earlier, and I lost myself. So when I left that marriage, I didn't know who I was, because I tried so hard to be everything he wanted me to be. And when you lose your identity, it's hard. So I had to first figure out who I was. You know, I'm telling you guys, it was so bad that I had to figure out what it is I want to watch on TV, because he dictated that. We watched what he wanted to watch. I dressed how he wanted me to dress. I wore my hair like he wanted me to wear my hair. So for me, I had to identify first off, I had to figure out who's Tasha. You know?
We were just talking about that. Go ahead, Tasha.
Yeah, who am
Go ahead,
I?
Tasha. How did you discover yourself?
I remember the first time I got the remote.
Wow.
The first time I got the remote, yeah. And I'm trying to keep from crying because shit is real.
Girl, I already had my tears. So
Hey, you missed her. You missed her time. If you need
I had
to,
my tears because
go ahead.
I feel exactly where you coming from. Like I was in the same relationship. So if I'm gonna say this, because now y'all got me to make me feel better.
Hold on, Sinead.
Huh?
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. 1 second. I want to hear about the remote because you were getting ready to go into that.
Yeah,
I want to hear about it.
Because I don't want to.
Okay.
So I'm glad she stopped me. You know,
okay, that's why she gave you a moment. You need another.
Right.
That's all. Because I feel where you coming from because I've been there, but I don't want to steer it back to me because he did ask you the question. So
no. Go ahead. Go ahead, because I want to hear both stories, especially the remote story. I got to hear that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sinead.
So I was going to tell you, I was in something so bad, I had to text people every 2 weeks that I was still alive.
Oh, wow.
Mine was that bad. So I get where you're coming from. When you get out of something like that, you feel like life is beating you down. Like, I get it. You know, it was to the point that I couldn't even hide scars. You get what I'm saying? So I get where you're coming from. That's all I mean to cry, but I feel your pain. And the messed up part about it is we wasn't even married. It was just, he was just feeding off my vulnerability. But if it was to the point, like I said, I had to text people, hey y'all, you know, I'm okay. Hey, I'm okay. I had to text and let people know, if you don't hear from me around this time, on this day, this man had something to do with it. It was like that. So I understand why you feel, because like I said, I'm listening to everybody. I understand why you feel like you don't have an identity because you put yourself out there so much to this man and you gave yourself so much to this man that he literally dictate who you were to the point that you didn't even know who you were.
Right.
So I get it. I understand. Like, that's why it's always good to listen because I feel where you are coming from. I was you. I was never married, but I was that woman that this man dictate. It was to the point like I couldn't even dress up to go out. I had to wear what he wanted me to wear.
Couldn't go out. At least you did that. I couldn't go out.
So I get it. I'm just glad I still have my life. That's, to me, I feel like that's all that matters. I'm still here. Because I mean, it was really to the point that I feared for my life. I didn't even know if I was going to wake up the next morning. If people was like, are you okay? You look like you haven't slept in days, because I'm scared to fall asleep. I'm too busy looking over my shoulder to make sure this man ain't finna kill me. It was just that bad. My house wasn't even my own house. It was his. And like I said, we wasn't even married. You know, people like, well, do you want somebody to come get him? No, because karma always gonna hit for me. So I don't mean to brag on it, but the man dead. Ironically, the same way he tried to harm me is how he died.
Oh my goodness.
But what I never did was let this man break who I was and break my spirit. I get it. You know, it was times I was down. Like you said, it's something that I always say. In order for you to rebuild, your foundation has to be completely destroyed. You cannot rebuild anything, even if you have a half of an inch of a weak foundation. So now, since you are completely destroyed, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay destroyed, or are you going to rebuild yourself into something better? Which is what I'm trying to do as an individual. But I also had to understand within myself, I had to be completely destroyed. After I got out of this relationship, I was homeless. I lost my job. I lost my car. I had to relocate with nothing but literally the clothes on my back because I was sleeping out of my car. My clothes and everything was in my car. My car was gone. I'm hopping from house to house. I don't know what I'm going to eat. That's my testimony. You get what I'm saying? But I had to be completely destroyed in order to rebuild something stronger to know who I was. So it's not. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry, man. Like in school. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
No, first of all, Tasha, I don't know. No. First of all, Shanette, I don't want to disrespect your story, so I want you to continue. Right. I just was raising my hand, so let me just be quiet. I'm sorry. Yeah,
whenever you finish it.
No, I'm just saying this testimony because, I just want her to feel and know that she's not alone, because sometimes when you get isolated so much that you feel like you're the only person going through this, you feel like you're the only person that's suffering, and you're not. So that's really why I'm explaining that, because some men feed off of that to the point that they will isolate you, isolate your mind, isolate your spirit, and they mold you and groom you into something that they want you to become, to the point, like you said, that you don't even know your own identity, and you feel like you're alone in this world, that people are going to think you stupid, people are going to think you dumb for staying, people are going to have all of these emotions and talk about you. And that's why I only told certain people, because I was so scared people was going to judge what I was going through. Oh, she weak. Oh, she this. Oh, she that. But people, like I said, I couldn't even hide it no more. Jeanette, where that bruise come from in your arm? Oh, I bumped into something. I'm actually was going to school, for what I'm doing now. And going to school, having to deal with this person, I have the same issues you have. I have difficulty having children. This man looked at me dead in my face and said I should be petty and have a baby by another child because I know you can't have one. This man pretty much called me a blow-up dog. I know how it feels. I know exactly how it feels and what you're going through. Like I said, and I wasn't even married to this man. I have an ID right now as a reminder. This man really said all of this to me, and I had to get a new ID. And I had to see this reminder on this ID for 4 years until I actually had to take a picture of a new ID. When I took that picture, I burst down into tears. That was like, well, what's wrong? They don't know what I had to look at when somebody say, let me see your ID. I got to whip up this ID. And all I see is memories of shamefulness, what this man has done to me. I get it. I understand where you're coming from, but sometimes, again, we have to rebuild ourselves. And some things that we don't try to rebuild is trust, because it's been broken so hard that you feel like, oh, okay, but I can't trust anybody. But that's where I feel like I can't hold what I just told you against the next. I have to see as to why I picked that type of person and why I keep picking that type of person and rebuild myself again. Knowing that this foundation of myself has been destroyed. God is not going to bring you through nothing to leave you. When he say you fall down, you're going to get back up. It's up to you to get back up. I know this sounds corny, but I always tell this.
Let me ask you something before we jump to it. I definitely want to hear Mr. King's thoughts on this.
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get into it.
No, you're okay. Well, before you get too far away, so I don't want to make sure you shift too much far, because I think he wanted to address something that he heard earlier. What was it that you want to have touch?
I just wanted to say that, Shanette, I love your story.
Oh, thank you.
The reason why that I love your story, and I need you to really embrace your story. What stands before you is somebody who was super doubtful of themselves, right? What stands before you is, when I was going into my divorce, I wanted to completely quit. I felt like a hypocrite, right? I'm coaching couples to get better. And then I go home and I'm dealing with ABC 1, 2, and I felt like I wanted to walk away. And I will definitely say by the grace of God, because of I had a little bit of a foundation that was built, my best female friend, my pastor, some of my business coaches. I walked into a space, and this is where if anybody has been feeling anywhere in the space of you, if I wanted to give a cheat code that was in there that I didn't know that I learned eventually, is that sometimes I have to stop and recognize that I ain't got it. And it's okay that I ain't got it, because here's the thing. There are angels that are out there that have the information. There are resources that out there that if I connect my spirituality first and foremost, in my opinion, right? If I create that relationship with God that's necessary, he's going to then bring the right people into my space. That's going to be a resource. T. Marie has been a resource for me throughout the years. You know how she's been a resource? Not that I've called her and shed my whole world, but yes, me and T have had those in-depth conversations, right? But at the same time, I'm inspired by listening to her. My ears are perked up to listen. And I had to get into a space where I'm humble enough to say, you know what? Yeah, I thought I was all that in high school, and I thought I was all that in college, or whatever case it be. Or maybe I didn't think that I was all that in high school. And I had I had insecurities, whatever, inside of certain spaces. Whatever that your background is, hello, let me tell you something. Your story that you have just then, you help somebody. Because even in this space, you're sitting here listening. Somebody's sitting here listening to you. And the pain that you've gone through, although I wish God would do it differently, in my opinion, he does it so that we can turn around and share it with somebody else to help them. Right? Everybody who is dope out there has a story of living in a car, domestic violence, broke out the wazoo, children going crazy, job, you can't find one, but you got the resume. I mean, the list goes on, right? Overqualified, right? And so I just want to share with you that your story is for a reason, and that's where your strength is. That's where your strength is. You know what I'm saying? And so if you had it all good and silver spoon from day one, don't nobody want to listen to you. Don't nobody want to listen to you, right? But I want you to tell me how your back is up against the wall, right? And how you read this, or you listen to that, or you talk to T, or you talk to Marcus, or you talk to Tasha, or you talk to, date night online person. I don't know who that is, right?
The Wiz.
The Wiz, or you talk to the Wiz, right? And they shared something that allowed you to advance beyond. But the reason why, so I want to give you that level of strength right there, Shanette, that by just saying, girl, I love your story. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to, I love your story. What we were doing, in my opinion, a lot tonight is just maybe kind of going into certain details of it. But like at the end of the day, I just got one question. Latasha said she was going out tonight, and it's 11:22, and I'm trying to figure out where you going, Tasha? Because did she just walk out the door?
She in her car.
No, I'm still here. I'm in my car.
Okay, I was wondering what time you was gonna walk out the door, because we grown and it's 11:22, so you go out late like that at this time of night. Grandmama said there's a certain time when there's only certain things that's open, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Tasha, your phone muted.
Yes.
Yeah.
She getting in her car.
You got to head out.
Tasha gone.
I want to hear what you was about to say about that remote.
Just put that do-rag. Do that wrap that up.
Tasha gone in her car.
Yeah, I'm in my car. I'm on my way. Oh, let me just say, because I know Mr. King was talking about what Grandma said, and that is true. However, this time, I'm a band booster parent. My son is in a band, and his band instructor is performing at a venue tonight. So that's what I'm on my way to, Mr. King.
At 10:30.
Yeah,
We're gonna go with that.
Oh, she's 10:30. It's 10:30 her time.
It's 10:30 in Arkansas.
Yeah.
It's 10:30 her time.
He just texted me and said, "Are y'all still coming?" Because I was supposed to be there about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, she done hung with us. Thank you,
I want to say, Shannon, by the way, your hair is beautiful. You got like good body to your hair, girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's good body to that. So I just want to go and give you that. I love your hair.
That is cute. And that's the hairstyle I want to do next.
I love it.
Come on, Bob.
That's cute, girl. That's cute.
I'll take the compliment. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Everybody can't do the bob. Your head has to be a certain size in order to do the bob.
Yeah,
and a certain shape.
All right, Tasha. We know.
Sometimes people be trying to bob and they need to weave because they just, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Tasha, you gonna come?
So that's the plot twist. This weed, but it's mine since I bought it. So we just gonna leave it.
Tasha, you have to come call us back and tell us that story about the remote.
We did. I didn't want to. I apologize. I didn't want to seem like it. I put it back on me. So
she finna tell
No, girl, you blessed me with that one, baby. You blessed me with that one, and thank you. Thank you. And share your story. As a matter of fact, my aunt, she would be interested in hearing your story because she's a public speaker, and she just did a podcast today on situations just like yours. So I may need to connect the two of you, and I'll get with Marq to get your contact information, and we need to talk.
Yeah.
So let me tell you guys about the remote story.
Okay,
and I can say it now without breaking out into tears.
He can wait.
Do you want me to wait?
No, I said he can wait.
Okay. Okay. So let me tell you guys. So, after 8 years of watching whatever he wanted to watch, if I see another damn Western, I'm telling you, I'm just gonna lose it. I'm gonna go into conniption fits if I watch another Western.
That smells pretty good. Okay, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have triggers, right? I have triggers.
Yeah.
I have triggers that I'm dealing with, and Westerns is one of them. I don't want to watch another one.
I understand.
I don't want to watch another Western. I don't. So when I got that remote in my hand, let me tell you my life. I sold everything I had. What all I didn't sell, he put it in the garage. Okay? And so I wasn't able to incorporate any of my personal style into his house because we moved into me and my children, we moved into his house. I had 3 children from my first marriage. I was married for 18 years. 10 years the first, 8 years the second time, right? So my kids from my first marriage, and we moved into his house with him, and I was not able to put any of my personality into the house because everything that I had was ghetto, was hood. So according to him, so he didn't let me put anything into his house. Anything that I did, anything that I wore, my hair, ghetto. You need to wear your hair like this. And I did it. And we gonna watch this because you want to watch all that old ghetto stuff. The Pine Bluff is coming out. I'm from a small town, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You may have seen it on TV because it's one of the highest crime capitals of the nation. And so that's where I'm from. So he would always dictate what we watched. So when I moved out from him, I was so desperate to get out of that relationship. I left with nothing. All I had was a set of dishes. So I moved out into this 2-bedroom apartment. I didn't have any furniture or anything. I bought a mattress and a box spring, and that's what my girls slept on. And my son slept in I had 2 girls. I have 2 girls and 1 son. And my son slept on the floor, on the blanket. And I slept in the living room. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. So my son had his room, and my girls had their room. The girls had a mattress and a box spring, and my son had just a camping. What do you call it when you go camping and you sleep in this little bag? So that's what he slept
Like
on.
a little sleeping bag?
Until I got him a mattress. A sleeping bag, yeah. So that's what he slept on until I got him a mattress. And so I'm sitting there in the living room on the floor with a blanket and a pillow, and I got the remote in my hand because I went to this discount store and bought a TV. And the apartment came with internet and cable, so I had cable. So I'm sitting on the floor with the pillow and the blanket, and I got the remote in my hand. The first time in 8 years, I have the remote in my hand. And I did not know what to watch. I broke out in tears because I did not know what I wanted to watch. I didn't know what to watch. I didn't know what to watch. And I had to have a conversation with myself. And I said, Tasha, you got the remote. You can change the channel to whatever you want to change it to. I flipped and 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 I flipped until I fell asleep.
Hey,
But
y'all too. I want y'all to. I want y'all to. I'm gonna step away. I want you guys to kind of have a quick conversation, one-on-one. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tasha.
Oh.
That was so gratifying for me, just to fall asleep flipping through the channel. You know, I may watch the news. I may watch BET. I may watch Stars. You know, it was just whatever I wanted to watch. And I was so excited about being able to watch what I wanted to watch on TV. I flipped and flipped until I fell asleep. It took me a minute to realize what I wanted to watch on TV. It took me a minute to realize what I wanted to wear. It took me a minute to realize what hairstyle I liked. You know, it took me a minute to realize what I want to eat for breakfast. Because I would cook whatever he wanted for breakfast every single morning. In order for him to say, oh, you didn't put enough pepper on these eggs. Oh, you don't have, you overcooked the sausage. You know, he would say things like he owned a barber shop. And I would on Sunday mornings, I would get up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go clean his shop. And he would say, it was one barber that worked in that shop that kept the shop really nasty and messy. His section was really nasty and messy. And I said, why don't you tell him not to keep it so messy? He said, now look, damn it, if you're going to be complaining about cleaning his shop, I can get any blowjo to come clean his shop. I can get anybody to come clean the shop. If you're going to sit and complain about it, you just clean it up. And all I asked is that he would talk to the guy because he kept his section nastier than everybody else's section. Hair all over the floor. He didn't sweep or none of that. And that's what he tells me. Every Sunday morning, I'm getting up cleaning his shop up. But this is what he tells me. He can get anybody to do this. It wasn't good enough. You're going to complain about it. I can get anybody to come clean this shop up. You should be glad. He would tell me all the time, you should be glad I took you and your children in.
Right.
That's what he used to tell me.
Damn, that's
Ain't
so
nobody gonna love you. Ain't nobody gonna love you the way that I love you. Nobody. You got these 3 kids. Ain't nobody gonna love you. And you had a child when you was a teenager. Ain't nobody gonna take you in. Ain't nobody gonna love you like I love you. You should be glad I'm taking you and these kids in.
So what was the breaking point?
He didn't physically abuse me, but it was mental and emotional abuse.
Yeah, it was kind of all combination for me. It was just mental, emotional, physical. It was like this man really just tore down my existence. My existence. I was going to say something. I know this sounds so corny, but I think about Humpty Dumpty, and And I know that sounds very weird. No, but listen. I know
I'm sorry.
I know that sounds so.
That shit threw me
It
off.
sounds weird. I know it does. But I think about the story Humpty Dumpty. I'm serious, and I think about it all the time. When they say that all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back together again after he was broken. My thing is, when you have other people having pieces of your heart, pieces of your soul, and pieces of your spirit trying to put you together as a whole, until you could figure out how to put yourself back together, you always going to forever be broken. You always going to fall apart because you got too many people in hand of yourself trying to put you back together and mold you into something after you became broken. And that's the metaphor I was coming from. Until you can physically put yourself back together again and grab yourself and mold yourself back together again, you're going to forever be broken. You always going to fall apart. So I know, like I said, the metaphor I know it sounds weird, but
I got
to
it.
me,
Now,
it's a lesson.
I got it now. It just kind of threw me off a little bit. I want to expect
I know.
My bad.
I know it sound a little off and sound a little weird.
It makes a lot of sense about trying to put together. You fall down. A lot of times Humpty Dumpty he couldn't put himself together, and it looks like it was. I get it. I'm getting tired.
No, it's that bother you to do stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's that bother you doing like this. Yeah. But I get it.
It is.
So
These are loose conversations. But we definitely appreciate y'all taking time out on a Friday night, especially you, Tasha, especially you. Hey, for real, like for you, and also Elam too as well. For y'all just to take time out just to kind of jump up and just jump online. This was very impromptu. We were actually we actually did some reaction videos, and we were kind of talking about some other things too as well. And this was kind of like thrown together. And I'm glad we kind of did it because it was actually fun.
Yeah. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Same
That's
here.
what it's about. That's what it's about. I mean, at some point I just came to the realization that it was definitely some lines being drawn between women and men. And so at a certain point, okay, once everybody got their issues out, said what they had to say, now we got to make the next move, right? And the next move is to try to gain understanding. And the first thing that we can do to try to gain understanding is to understand that, one, people go through the same things that we go through. Now, hopefully we can all realize that we all have struggles. We all have things that we've gone through. So we all common in that area. And then, so now the healing needs to begin as far as understanding, but also working on oneself, men and women, instead of pointing at the finger at each other. So, T. Marie, you want to say anything right quick?
No, well, yeah. This was actually great. I'm so glad that you guys joined us too. Like Mark, like you said, it started out as our conversation, but for Latasha, Shanette, and Elam to take time out, this was amazing. And Mark, your platform is great. I'm so glad to be a part of it. I think there's so many things that we're going to be able to accomplish together because we really do need to do the healing in our community, because our community is so damaged because of the way we look at relationships and the way that we look at each other. And so we need to take the time to understand one another so that we can relate to one another as men and as women, because until we come together collectively, our community is going to stay weak. We're going to always get the bottom and the least of the things that we deserve. So community starts with us, and us starts with how we deal with each other as men and women. And that's why it's such a passion of mine. So I can't wait. I think I'm excited about it. And Mark, this was good. We stayed way too long. I'm back sober. Okay, yeah. I was drunk about 2 hours ago, but now I'm sober again.
Right,
so,
me too. Right.
Hey, Mr. King, you want to say something before we end up, bro?
Is he still there?
Either.
I don't think. I think he might have walked away. Let me see.
Yeah, it's all good. We're gonna go ahead and close it out.
All right.
When he gets back on, he'll notice we gone.
We're here, boo. We gone. We gone.
All right.